Good morning, Groovers. Welcome to Piswig Airlines, formerly known as Heathrow Airlines. Thanks to a Nigerian scammer, we're taking off without the pre-takeoff check. Look at that sky. Oh, how pretty, huh? Not going to be a particularly warm day today. We're looking at a top of 14 degrees Celsius, which is sort of wintry weather. But when the sky is blue and the sun be shining, who cares what the weather is as long as you've got decent clothing on? So it's a Friday and I'm off to work. I don't normally go to town on Fridays unless we have a meeting, and I work from home, but we have a meeting and also a lunch, the departure of one of my colleagues. It's kind of weird driving in on a Friday. Little free-for-all today. I feel if things are ailing you, this is the time and the place. Or you can just enjoy the scenery. I'm hoping my audio is okay. I realise I have to check the audio on my phone. In fact, I'll do it while I'm stopped here. Unless there's a police car tootling along. Let me just check my audio. Shit. There's cars are coming. I'm going to have to pull over. Hopefully it's okay. There's 4 different bands in my volume settings, and I always turn it up, but I have to actually go further in and turn all 4 up. And I'm wondering why sometimes my audio is really clear and other times, oh no, Kay's uploaded vegan carbonara. Okay, what are you putting in that? I can't believe it's not bacon. But yeah, if anyone wants to, have a bit of mobile therapy, now's your chance. I hope while you're boarding, everyone remember to bring their own snacks and drinks, because you don't get shit like that on Piswig Airlines. It's currently 7:13 a.m. Did leave home a little bit later than usual. I was hanging out with Sunny. She was in a very playful mood and time slipped by. I was like, oh, crikey, I've actually got to get in my car and drive. Drive to the office. So hopefully a fairly nice day today with a bit of, meetings usually go for about an hour and a half. Then we've got the lunch, which will be probably an hour and a half. That's 3 hours taken care of. Hopefully it won't be a crazy day as well. What do I have to vent about? Well, I'm getting angrier actually about the Kylie Rodney story and how it's been milked so despicably. But I actually want to cover that in a live over the weekend where I can be live from home with good audio and we can have a good old-fashioned chat. Now, I want to say right here and now, Groovers, that chat means that we might be talking about creators that some of you are fond of. And that's fine. It's not going to be a name-calling exercise where we just all say so-and-so sucks. But it is going to be a discussion about how channels seem to be losing their way and have worked out how to make a lot of money online by milking a story, and it's shit. And they're not breaking any laws or anything like that, but the problem is people keep rolling in the masses and supporting them. Just not looking at both sides, and that's all I'm hoping people can do. I just want people to look at both sides. There is no creator on YouTube who's perfect, but this blind loyalty is a huge problem. Explaining behaviour, dismissing thing a big deal because you like a creator is bullshit. Do you let people in your life do reprehensible, unforgivable? We're back. The world's best investigators, the world's best public speakers, the world's best researchers. We're none of that. So, yeah, when we do have these discussions, and if there's creators that you like, please don't turn it into an argument about why they're wonderful. Open your eyes and consider what's being discussed, and then dismiss it if you wish. I want us to have conversations. And if you happen to have a little blue wrenchy thing and someone's being talked about that you're fond of, please do not delete comments by other people that aren't so fond of them. I want us to have open conversations, unless it's hate speech. And by hate speech, I mean hate speech, not I don't like that person. That isn't hate speech. Because, yeah, I'm trying to create a space for open discussion, and I don't want it censored or moderated. Thank you very much. And it might even be a case with those lives, I don't know, I'm just thinking this through, that I take away everyone's wrenches for those lives so everyone's on an equal footing, or I give everyone a wrench so everyone's on an equal footing. So that's my vent. I'm on the highway. I'm ready for someone to chat, and I've got 3 people hanging out. G'day, Groovers. Not saying anything, you creepy little creepsters. Oh, well, let's just enjoy the scenery. I was hoping someone would have something they wanted to talk about. Maybe it's time for some carpool karaoke. That'll get you talking, just to make me shut the fuck up. But yeah, the Kylie Rodney thing is getting even weirder because I think channels now know that other channels are calling out their crap, and now they're justifying it. Surprise, surprise. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit disappointed. Ginny Ron used to walk on the beach with me. I mean, not literally, but I know Ginny Ron from the back in the days where we all had like 200 subscribers, and we all met because of the Chris Watts case. I mean, his channel has just gone ballistic, which is awesome, and I think he's got a fair bit of integrity. Um, but I heard him commenting about how discussing things like Kylie's story are worthwhile because, social media, the internet can bring about amazing outcomes. Now, I don't disagree with the second part of his comment. I just think you need to take Kylie Rodney's name out of it. Because oh my God, AJ! Oh. You've been in hospital. Oh my God. Oh, it's so lovely to see you, beautiful. I hope you're on the mend. My God, you poor thing. Far out, you got struck. Love you, gorgeous. Oh, I'll be filling you in over the next. I've got a lot to say now. My channel is taking a new angle. I wondered where you were. We've missed you. We've missed your dad jokes. Batshit's not the same without you. Finn and I did a hilarious batshit last night. I imagine it would have been a nightmare. I'm just so glad you're okay. We hadn't quite sent out the search party because people take time out on YouTube. I mean, a former subscriber of mine resubscribed yesterday and was in batshit, and I haven't seen her for months. I mean, I know that she's moved onto TikTok and she's doing more stuff over there, but I think because, yeah, people come and go. You don't sort of, the alarms don't go off straight away, but it's lovely to see you, gorgeous. And so to hear that you're out of hospital and hopefully mending. You poor thing. Fuck COVID. It's glad that you survived it. It doesn't, no one has the same story with COVID. That's what's so weird about it. I've got friends that barely knew they had it and they're immunocompromised and should have had a really bad time of it. And then I've got young people in my life who are, fit and healthy, 21, who got it and have now got long COVID. Like, it's just a prick of a thing. No, nobody feels like joking really when they're not well. Stupid doctor's been your most common phrase. Well, I'm sure we'll come up with some dad jokes that will quack everyone up. Oh, do you see what I did there? Yeah. I forgot to fill up my wiper bottle. There's sand on my car. The perils of living at the beach. Oh, God, there's so much going on, though, AJ, that you'll get fired up about when you've got the energy. Yeah, I know. We've got a few lurking in the bushes. Oh, big love to everyone in Florida, too. I didn't get to watch it, but one of my friends who I met on YouTube, funny enough, sent me a video, or sent a group of us a video saying not all people are bad, and it looks like it's a video of a man rescuing a puppy or a kitten. It's pretty cute. Morgan rolls in. Hello, Gruber. But yeah, AJ, I've spent 4 long years watching shit on YouTube, and I'm speaking up about it now. I'm not going to change the way people think because there's too much power with a group think tank that it's very hard to get people to change their mind. But I'm calling shit out when I see shit, and there's been a lot of shit. And the real bugbear of mine at the moment is channels that have been going live for hours and making thousands of dollars, milking what is only a story at the moment, the story of Kylie Rodney, which would have probably been happening before you got sick. But, the typical YouTube world, all these theories start being put out there and it's just snowballing, and hundreds of people are rolling into these channels and calling the creators geniuses and saying they've got amazing investigation skills. And I'm just there going, really? If their skills are so amazing, why haven't they been snapped up by the FBI or another agency that investigates shit? Like, do these people think what they're saying when they type that crap? But yeah, so last night I heard while I was doing the dishes after batshit, I heard Judy Ron sort of on a short. I like YouTube shorts, and he popped up. I was like, hey, Judy Ron's doing the shorts. Who is essentially justifying all of these channels constantly going live about this story. Now, he has been as well, but the difference with Judy Ron is that he puts people up on his panel who know shit and they know what they're talking about. So he kind of, in a way, whether it's deliberate or not, but he's sort of knocking a lot of these theories on the head with facts and science. And I think that's a good thing. But he made the comment that, and this is where I felt like he was defending anyone that's going live about her, how social media can bring about excellent results. And we've seen many instances of that in the last month. Well, we've seen a few. We've seen it, or month and a half, whatever. We've seen AWP finding Kylie. We've seen Check It TV finding Kylie's belongings. We've seen Chris Dawson getting locked up and the key thrown away, guilty verdict after 40 years of living his life as a free man, found guilty of murdering his wife by a podcast. So we've seen social media bring about positive results. I don't disagree at all. I can't read that chunky comment, AJ, but I will have maybe a bit of time at the car park. We'll have the car park chat while I put on my face. And I don't disagree with what Judy Ron is saying. However, I don't think it's appropriate to say that particularly about the Kylie Rodney story, because at the moment it's not an ongoing investigation as far as anyone knows, and there are no new facts or there's no new information. And they're getting so desperate, these channels that are just milking this story for, like, I'm talking 10-hour lives, AJ, and watching the money roll in. The big drama at the moment, or the big, thing that's going on that's a cause for concern, and clearly something's amiss, is that her autopsy results are not going to be out till November. And they're all reading into what that could mean. It means that's how long it takes for all the toxicology reports and everything else to come back for the autopsy to be completed. Some autopsies can take a year you can wait a year to get the results. No, that's okay, AJ. I just can't read that long. See, look at you. You're back in and you're fired up. Love it. I just can't read, as you know. I mean, I can read. I just can't read essays while I be driving. So, yeah, no issue with Judy Ron talking about social media bringing about results. So here's my issue. I don't disagree with you, Judy Ron. I think you're right. I just don't think Kylie Rodney's story is the one that all these channels should be doing. Like, why aren't they talking about cold cases and missing people who have never been found? Why aren't they putting energy into stuff that needs investigating, even on social media? There's nothing new in the Kylie Rodney story, so for now, everyone just needs to take a deep breath and wait and see. And I've said it from the start, if information comes out down the track that warrants discussion, let's do it. But until then, maybe all of these channels could be using their platforms to bring about results and change and show everyone how amazing their investigation skills are by talking about cold cases and missing people cases. If they're such fucking genius investigators, like all their subscribers seem to see skills being put to good use. Stop milking a story about a 16-year-old girl who lost her life way too young, and a family and friends who are grieving and have actually publicly asked you guys to back off. If it turns out there's something to talk about, I'm sure her friends and family will hope that whatever it is to be talked about brings about an outcome. But I mean, saying things like, we just want justice for Kylie. Why? We don't even, it's not even a crime. It's not even a case. It's a story. Stop justifying your bullshit money making exercise on, oh, we just want justice for Kylie. Unfortunately, Kylie might be a victim of natural justice, like she might just be the victim of a sad series of events that led to her death at 16 years of age. Not natural justice, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That's not right. But, maybe it's just a very sad story. At the moment, that is what it is. But, there's channels that still talk about Chris Watts. I heard someone, oh, bloody Natasha Cooper crapping on about Nicole Kessinger having Chris Watts' son, and now she's married to Jim, and what the fuckity fuck? Again, stop putting all your time and energy into cases that are closed or stories that are just stories. The puzzling thing is the lack of people that want to say, hang on a sec, this sounds like a whole heap of bullshit. I mean, if you do in those channels, you get blocked, which is why I think it's important if we can't speak up in their chat and just pitch a few questions that might ignite some proper discussion, then we need to use our own platforms. If they block me for calling out their BS, and I'm not rude, I play devil's avocado. I ask intelligent questions. Is it possible that this is what happened, I say? And then, boom, I'm sent into the Blocksville, which is full of people. It's great. Everyone's having a party in Blocksville. There's fucking heaps of people in there. Because God forbid you want to participate in a conversation. And I don't care if it just one person goes, okay, this part of this creator's work I'm not a fan of. I'm going to listen now with, both eyes open, both ears open. I might question a few more things. I'm just not going to blindly believe this person is the Messiah and they know everything. But yeah, I heard a human behavioural expert talking about how the reason these channels get away with this shit is because once you've got a mob of people who all buy into it, who all drink the Kool-Aid, it's incredibly difficult to get a huge group of people to shift the way they think because they start to think as a group. So you've essentially got to convince the entire group. I had this belief, that you'd find in the group somewhere, you'd find that Jonathan Livingston Seagull, who defies nature and decides to prove he can be an eagle when you're a seagull, and that everyone else would look at the Jonathan Livingston Seagull in that community in bewildered awe and think, hey, I'm a seagull too. Maybe I can also fly like an eagle. I'll give it a go. But I'm naive because social media platforms with hundreds of people cruising in for their daily fix. I mean, these are people who are prepared to spend 10 hours of their day literally watching someone replay footage over and over and over again. They're not independent thinkers. They've become part of the group think, and getting them to start questioning things or, pitching an alternate scenario are very slim, it's sad, and I didn't realise how naive I was. I mean, I think people on YouTube still have independent thinking when it comes to things like creators telling them where they can and can't go. A lot of them do blindly follow that creator's advice, instructions, directions, and avoid channels the creator doesn't like. But there's plenty of others who go, I go wherever the fuck I want. So there's still independent thinking going on. I don't know. I'm being optimistic. I have hope. The eternal optimist in me has hope, which, it's all we've got. Well, this life's been riveting. I've been delivering a monologue, which is clearly now a soliloquy because there's people watching, nobody talking. But I was hoping someone else would have a Friday issue, even if it's not Friday yet. It is here. It's currently 5 degrees. Are you kidding me? It was 12 degrees when I left home. Oh, no, it was 8. It was 8. 7. 5 degrees. Wow. I wonder if there's snow on the mountain. It's been really cold. The last few days have been, oh, hey, Broken Justice rolling on in. G'day, Gruber. I mean, I did batshit last night in my hoodie. And my hoodie, and I had heating on in the house too, and my hoodie's like, it's like wearing a sheet. It's so warm. But yeah, I went to the gym because I couldn't get warm. I went for a walk on the beach in the morning and I got pretty cold on the beach. And even though I had a hot shower when I got home and put clothes on, like warm clothes on straight away, I just couldn't get warm. And so I was like, right, I'm going to go to the gym, do a really full-on cardio class. So I did spin, and it did actually warm me up. But then I got home, and because I don't leave the heating on when I'm not home as much as Sunny would like it. And I got cold again. So yeah, I did batshit wearing my hoodie. Live on YouTube, pretty much ready for bed. No makeup, no fucks to give. In my hoodie. It was not a good look. Oh, AJ, though, you do need to watch, don't watch the whole batshit, but A Tasmanian Story 1 last night. Fuck, it was funny. So, yeah, you just have to, I think it was in the middle of the show I covered it. It was a little educational exercise earlier on this week at a Tasmanian school. The information they put on there, the school put on their Facebook page, the way it was written, people took it seriously and it went viral. Like, people around the world were going, holy shit, a meteorite has hit Tasmania. And the funniest thing is all the Karens. How irresponsible of the school. At least nobody was hurt. Oh my God. The Karens are even in Tassie. Jesus Christ. Lighten up, lady. It was very obvious looking at the photo. It wasn't a meteorite. It was, yeah, very funny. So, yeah, check it out. You'll laugh. It'll give you a chuckle. It was a very Tasmanian story. There's no snow on the mountain as far as I can see. Apparently there was a couple of days ago. And guys, no, I'm not that asshole that sits in the speeding lane and, like, they're not keep left unless overtaking. There is a big merge lane here, so I actually get over so everyone can kind of merge together. I don't like cars that don't let, no, not that no one's done it this morning, but cars that don't let people merge. If you let traffic flow and let the merging happen, it works really well. It's the people that refuse to let others merge that make it, make it ineffective. It's getting on now. Just got a notification that Kay's Cooking's uploaded a video of her making a vegan carbonara. What the frig? Is she making it with I can't believe it's not bacon? I don't think vegan and carbonara should feature in the same sentence, considering everything in carbonara is not vegan. Eggs, cream, bacon. The only thing in a carbonara, if you put it in, is onion, garlic. How can you do vegan? I'll be watching. I'll be reacting to that shit. Don't you worry. I love McKay. I do. But she's either the greatest internet troll ever, and she's a funny chick, and she's a sweetie. Like I'm not having a crack at her, but her cooking is very dubious. But how can you put carbonara and vegan in the same sentence? Unless it's, as a vegan, I will never eat carbonara. Crikey, someone's just written a massive essay. I'm with you, getting on. In fact, last night on Batshit, that topic was covered as well, because Finn had a story about how vegans and vegetarians are more likely to suffer from depression than carnivores, basically. So there are a lot of great one-liners with that story too. Some of my one-liners were genius. I thought, like, if God didn't want us to eat animals, why did he make them out of meat? But I had a rant about, if you're going to be a vegan or a vegetarian, that's great, but why are you using plants to make food that looks like meat? Like sausages, chicken patties, hamburgers. Like the thing you've given up, you've got this anti anything animal products. Why do you make food that looks like animal products? It doesn't work for me. Make your plant-based meal look like a bit of broccoli, for fuck's sake. Or in fact, just eat some broccoli. I find it so weird. And they've got, like vegan roasts. And I'm surprised someone hasn't come up with a vegan bone that they can, make a vegan T-bone steak, or I think Finn mentioned that last night too. But yeah, if you're so anti-animal products, why are you making your food look like animal products? I know we're on the same page, getting on her. What about the vegan carbonara? Okay, it's got me intrigued. I'm bummed I'm going to work. I want to watch it now, right now. I'll be covering that one. We'll be reacting. Don't jump over to Kay's and watch it now. Well, you can. I'm sure I'll come up with some Perla one-liners. Bless her. Actually, when I was at the supermarket the other day, I've never really noticed it because I don't know what aisle you even find it in, but they, for some reason, had it at the end of an aisle. There must be. I think, well, there's three ends of little aisles, like half aisle shelving. There's shelving that's only half the length of the aisle, and then there's this big central area with low shelving. And on the end of those three short shelves, they have, like, the shorter ones that don't go the full length. Oh, look, that detail's irrelevant. They have things on special, but there was a whole wall of spam. And Kay cooks with a shitload of spam. And I was thinking, do I buy some and cook along with Kay? And I was like, oh, there's no way I'll ever be able to eat any of her food. It is the most inedible looking slop you'll ever see. But also, times are tight, and spending money on something I'm not going to eat doesn't really appeal to me. Because I don't even know if I could muster up the strength to do the taste test with spam. Look, I saw her make a spam pie, and it was literally, she makes a shitload of dough. No one has more flour in their kitchen than the lovely Kay. Um, so she made this dough. Her dough always looks dry. There's really much moisture that enters her dishes, and if there is, it's always way too much. Or she'll do things like make gravy with the water that the carrots were boiled in, that kind of random shit she does too. Um, so she's made the pastry base. She chops up and she holds the spam in her hand and cuts towards her hand with her knife. And she cut up all these chunks of spam, put them on the pie base, and I'm like, right. Now she's going to be adding some kind of pie filling, some sort of sauce, maybe some other vegetables. No, not a thing. No sauce, nothing. And then she pops the lid on, the pastry lid goes on, that fucker goes into the oven. No herbs, no seasoning, literally just chopped up spam wedged between two pieces of dry pastry. Delicious. Fake turkey. Mind you, I have an issue with the turducken people too, so, I'm not going to completely slander the vegans today. Whoever came up with turducken needs to be shot. Shoving a bird inside a bird inside a... What the fucking? What the fucking? Don't make turducken. I don't like the mixed meat combo. Keep your meat separate. It's funny, there's a brand of cat food that I feed Sunny. They do lots of different versions, but there's one box that you can get that's sort of got like turkey and lamb together, or, like two different meats together. She can't stand it. And I don't blame her. Because, no. We're in good time, peeps. We'll have time in the car park to chat. Yeah, ouch. Thanks, OJ. I swear to God, I'm going to shadow ban that girl. So many people. I've never seen people do it in Mel Mel's chat, but people do it in mine all the time. They rave about Mel Mel. Mel Mel's a very good friend of mine. I adore her. She deserves a raving. I just find it really weird. I get told frequently how funny Mel Mel is. If I can know how funny she is. This isn't a dig at you, AJ, but it happens a lot on my channel. And if I bring her up, there'll be thousands of comments. And rightly so. What I find odd is I never see people saying that about me and her stuff. Morgan, are you still floating around? Actually, Morgan will say that's because we don't like you. We're only watching you for Sunny. Fair point. I've already answered my question. Spam sushi. I had that in Hawaii, and I actually really enjoyed it. I was surprised, but they cook it so that it's almost like bacon. Like it kind of gets crunchy on the outside, and those little sort of sushi hot things that are wrapped in Glad wrap or plastic. Like what do you guys call it? Saran wrap. And it was kind of rice and spam and egg and some sort of yummy sauce. They were delicious. Yeah, look at AJ sucking up to me now. Yeah, right. Too late. Too late. I saw what you did. I do all my cooking over on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen now too. I don't do it on this channel, so if people ain't subscribed, they'll never see me cook again. I'm determined to get that channel to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we're on like 96. I'm sure I can get 4 by Christmas or New Year's Eve. So, yeah, if you want to partake in any of my cooking, the Shitty Kitty Kitchen is where it's at. If you want to partake in true crime, the Smooth Criminal channel is where it's at. And if you, or the Smooth Criminal podcast channel, Gesundheit. It's fucking cold. That's what that sneeze was for. And if you want to participate in, venting, ranting, reactions, social commentary, stupidity, Better Call Tour is your place. Yes, the spam caramelized seaweed wrap. Oh, did it have seaweed? It might have. Delicious. I loved the Japanese food in Hawaii. It was fantastic. But yeah, I actually also, I might see if I've still got it. I don't know what I've done with it. I actually bought a spam recipe book while I was in Hawaii because I was pretty impressed with their creative uses of spam. Someone's in my park, but this one's just as the view is just as stunning. The Greek was amazing. I don't remember having Greek in Hawaii, but I had a lot of Greek at home. I do a lot of the Mediterranean diet sort of food. In fact, on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, the last thing I made was a keftides bowl with tzatziki. Oh, thanks, AJ. Dropping links, sucking up to me. So good to have you back, AJ, because I could take the piss out of you and I know you won't get it all. Maybe she said something mean to me. You get my humour because you've lived on this beautiful island. You know what we Taswegians are like. Yeah, so I did do the teacher's pet stuff on Better Call Tour, but I really need to, and I still have some things I'd like to do about that one too, but I really do want to start using the Smooth Criminal podcast for anything crime related, but the Kylie Rodney stuff, because it's more of a vent. I guess if you want to be be a Puritan about YouTube channels, I guess Better Call Tour might be turning into a little drama channel. Yep, slurp and suck. Oh, my cooking, sorry, with the Greek. Yes, thank you. Gotcha. Deb Tuttle, hello, beautiful. Hey, Deb, a Tassie story won batshit last night. Deb's a Taswegian. Also, Deb, it's school holidays next week, which sucks because I'm really keen to do that outing with us. Deb and I are going to go to a maze that's reopened in a little town not far from both of us. And I came up with this idea that I'm going to go live on StreamYard. I've got little battery packs that I'm going to charge up so Deb and I can plug them into our phones so our phones don't go flat in an hour. Hopefully they'll have enough juice to get us into the maze and out, or into the middle. And Deb's going to come up on the panel, and then you guys are going to direct each of us which way to go. Oh, Locke's off today. It's Lever's dinner. Yeah, we do need to do the maze. I already know that if people like Cement Shoes come in, they'll send you to the middle and they'll send me off in circles. Although, friends of mine recently did it, and apparently there's little sort of clues that you have to solve along the way. So they may not be able to send me off in all directions. I don't know. We'll have to see, but it'll be bloody funny. It's fucking hilarious. Just putting some things in my bag for the day, and I've got to put on a happy face. But yeah, it should be hilarious. So watch this space. Be amazed at Deb and I navigating our way through a maze. And apparently my friend cheated and her husband was horrified because he managed to do it without cheating and she didn't. So it does sound like it could be a bit of fun. God, Locke has his Lever's dinner. But what are we talking? Year 10 or something? Because, I mean, back in the day, back in the olden days when we were young, Lever's dinners, there was one for year 10 and one for year 12, and that was it. But a friend of mine who's got like he's a teenage boy now, my friends who I visited in Hawaii, he's had like Lever's dinners and graduations for every fucking year of school so far, including like kindergarten. They do a little graduation with, this is in the States, with the little mortarboard and little gowns. It's like, really? Kind of takes away the sense of achievement when you get to year 10. Or year 10, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking he's too young to be leaving. But yeah, we had a year 10 one because a lot of my year left my school to go off to like Hobart Matric or Elizabeth, or, they went somewhere else to do their year 11 and 12. So that's why I think we had a year 10 one, because a lot of kids don't or didn't necessarily go the whole way through the school. A lot of schools only went to year 10 too. I mean, ours didn't, but he's all growed up, Deb. I went to my niece Lily's Lever's dinner a few weeks ago. We went not to the dinner, but we went to the pre-dinner photo shoot, which is a thing. We never had that. So we all went off to St. David's Park, and all the girls are there and their dates all looking awkward. And these girls in like incredibly revealing dresses and their gorgeous little bodies, and all these boys are standing around. They clearly don't know where to look or what to do. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it's a different world. All right, foundation's on. Let me do my powder and then I can check chat again. Looks like none of you have anything to vent about. It's just been me doing monologues and soliloquies the whole way in. I do recommend that Greek dish, the last dish I did on the Shitty Kitty Kitchen. It was really yummy, and it was beautiful the next day too. That one's a winner. Whereas another one, which I was going to go live and cook, I made it. What is today? Friday. I made it on Wednesday, I think. It was called karahi chicken. It was a Pakistani dish, and karahi, I didn't realize, is sort of like a pot that they cook in. And a wok is a similar sort of thing. So I don't own a karahi. I didn't even realize it was the name of a pot. I did mine in the wok, and it was so fucking chilly hot. It blew my tits off. It was really. It wasn't. I mean, I managed to eat it, but it was hard work. It burned the fuck out of my mouth. So I'm actually glad that I. Well, I'm not. It's a bummer I didn't do it because you would have seen me reacting to the heat in this thing. It was crazy hot, and I still don't really know why. But I won't be making it again. And I only made servings for two, thankfully, and the second lot, which I thought I could eat the next day with a salad or something to try and dilute it a little bit. And I tried a piece of the chicken. You know how things the next day, curries and stuff, the flavors kind of settle and, spaghetti bolognese, whatever, it gets a bit bolder, a bit stronger, not necessarily hotter, but just has more depth to it. Not this fucker. This fucker had gone next level, blow my tartars off, so I didn't actually have it. There is a point with cooking that you go, I cannot eat this. It's not pleasant. I mean, it was a really fun process, and I made it perfectly, but one of the things was slicing tomatoes and putting them on top of the chicken and then putting a lid on and letting them steam a little bit so that you could peel the skin off, and then you smash the tomato like into a puree with a wooden spoon into the dish, and all of that stuff I did, and that was fun. But it was so spicy hot, it was crazy. And I know Pakistani food is hot, but this was like next level ridiculous. So yeah, it wasn't that dinner was unpleasant, but it wasn't enjoyable either. It was kind of in that middle ground of being interesting yet confronting. And yeah, so I'll never make that again. So you're never going to learn how to make karahi chicken on my channel. So good to have seen you, AJ, and I'm so glad that you're mending. Take care, beautiful girl. Yeah, that's it. They meld. Well, these flavors melded into next level insanity. Like, it was edible the first night, but edible with the knowledge. Like, I had the tzatziki. I still had some tzatziki left over from the Greek meatballs, the captivated. I didn't use it all the next night, and I'd already put a dollop of yogurt. It had yogurt that went into the sauce, and then it also had yogurt on top. And I just poured the rest of the tzatziki on top too, because my mouth was on fire. And yeah, I ate it because it was my dinner, but whoa, it was batshit. All right, I'll just do some eyeshadow. My palette, my eyeshadow, my favorite part of the palette is like nearly gone, and I can still just get tiny bits of it on my brush. And I've started trying other color combos using the rest of the palette, and they just aren't working for me. So then I bought a new palette, a different one, because I couldn't get this one. And the new one is equally as unsatisfying. Why do they do that? I mean, palettes, people go, oh, wow, look at the amazing palette. And then you end up using one color more than anything else, and it runs out. And to me, it's like the entire palette's rendered useless. Like my highlighting color, I've got plenty of that because I don't use nearly as much as the main color. But all the other colours are virtually, I mean, I might have experimented with them, but they're pretty much untouched, barely touched. And these palettes have only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colours, but I still only ever seem to use a lot of one colour and a little bit of another. And then I always go, oh, I can buy little baby palettes. There's sometimes baby palettes, really small ones with only 4 colours, but the colours are never right. It's a dilemma. It's a dilemma. I'm sure back in the day you could just buy individual ones. Because that's probably what I should be doing, is looking for 2 pots of 2 colours that I like together. But you see people doing makeup on YouTube and they've got palettes with like 90 colours on there, and you're like, are you ever going to use all of those colours? I doubt it. Unless you're Bailey Sarian. She does incredible eye colour, but most people don't have the time to do the sort of makeup she does. Especially whilst discussing a gruesome murder story. All right, my makeup's done. Put on a little fragrant oil. I don't do the perfumes anymore. I'm becoming the middle-aged woman that's becoming allergic to everything or hypersensitive. I bought dishwashing liquid the other day that's organic. It didn't have a strong flavour on the label. Like, it was something just like rose, but not like it didn't. And then I pumped it into my sink to do the dishes, and honestly, the aroma, it was rhubarb and rose, and it was so fucking strong, I can't use it. Oh no, I'm back to doing a monologue again. All that time I was like, now my makeup's done, I can chat, and we've gone back to the creepy silence again. What a weird live. Well, I hope you enjoyed the scenery, you lurkers. But yeah, I didn't want to turn into that middle-aged person that's fucking hypersensitive to everything. And then I was telling my personal trainer at the gym, because there's always something going on. I said, you must look at me and think, well, her name's Kylie, and it's like, you must just think that I'm constantly sick and I've got shit wrong with me. And she's like, Tori, we're all going through it. That's what happens when you get to an age with a 5 at the start. She made me feel much better. Because we'll be working out and chatting away, and then she'll be like, what's that? And I'm like, I don't know. It's some weird rash I developed overnight. See, that's the problem those getting on. Just the name lethal already suggests to me that I wouldn't cope with it. I have to use very neutral, organic-y, mineral-y makeup. I can't use anything. I use an Australian brand that's mineral-based and pretty gentle. I can't use anything. The fact that it's called lethal automatically makes me feel like I'd react to it. Like that horrible era of people wearing, do you remember that perfume Poison? Oh my God. Like everyone was wearing it, and it was the strongest, most horrific smell. And there's actually workplaces that banned people wearing Poison because so many people had adverse reactions to it. But yeah, I've got to be incredibly careful with what I use. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll check it out, but if it's not sort of as natural and as mineral and, that it can get, if it's got any artificial anything in it, it'll fuck me up. And I don't want to be this super sensitive person, but I am. Getting old is so much fun. But yeah, thankfully Kylie reassured me that I'm not alone. We're all in the same boat. We're all dealing with random bodily gems that we never used to have to deal with. Mental note, when I finish work today, I've got to pack up my work from home case because on Monday I've got a rostered day off and Tuesday I'm working from home. Next week's going to be a very nice week for me. You use the basic tart palette because they're good for sensitive eyes. I mean, I don't really wear that much makeup anyway. Most days I do not wear makeup. I wear makeup when I go to work most days. If I'm seeing a client or like today we're going out to lunch, so I make a bit of an effort. Um, I sometimes wear makeup when I'm on YouTube just because I think my skin, because I've got broken capillaries, I think I can look a bit ruddy. Hey, cement shoes. You got a shout out on Batshit last night, cement shoes, with you and Yep, so what, both sending the same story, the Biden one. And I don't know if you saw my email, but I couldn't use the iPhone up the vagina one because it was from 2021. And our rule is there's stories that have to happen in the last week or so. I was so excited to do that one. And then I opened the story up in the Googles and it was December last year. But Biden was in the list. But I don't think Biden will ever be able to win batshit again because he won it so many times already. But you never know. Finn did make the comment. He said it's hilarious that to him that he used to do the Biden stories, and now I've done two Biden stories 2 weeks in a row. You didn't get the notification, bugger. It was a really fun episode too. Finn and I were bouncing off each other, and we were fucking hilarious, if I do say so. Oh, palette, got it. Yeah, we were bouncing off each other and hilarious, if I do say so myself. You have to watch the replay, Cement Shoes. It was a good one. It was a good one. The only thing I can say with not getting notifications is historically on YouTube, if you unsubscribe and then refresh your page, resubscribe, and hit the notifications bell, that sometimes can fix it. Yeah, we don't have enough time, Cement Shoes. I mean, it's not a bad suggestion, but the thing is, that story I've put in my email to you, I can do that on my Smooth Criminal podcast. I've definitely got already a heap of stories of crimes involving phones. But yeah, we don't have time. Like even last night, Finn and I, between us, we had about 14 stories and we have to cull it down to 8 because we're trying to keep that show to like an hour. If we had more time, but when we've already had to drop, 6 stories that happened in the last week, there's no way we're going to let some nearly a year old story sneak in. But yeah, my podcast is all about Smooth Criminal podcast is crimes around the world involving objects, like funny crimes. So there's different topics. I've really got to crank that up again because it was good fun. That shit's your favourite weekly. Oh, thank you. It's mine too. I think it's gold. I just wish we could get more people watching it. Like we sit around between 10 and 14 people, and it blows me away that we don't get more people watching us because when we started doing it, we thought we're actually offering content, and we've done 44 weeks in a row, which is a massive effort. And you get bummed when you miss it live. No, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I don't know how we can make it grow because it's just not growing. And Finn and I do put a lot of work into it and try to make it fun, and the chat's hilarious, and we just we can't get more than, I mean, we may have had 20 at the most one week, and that was it. And yet there's 800, 900 people probably watching someone live right now talking about Kylie Rodney and replaying footage that everyone's already seen 1,000 times and analysing everything that comes out of the mouths of teenagers. It just... Thank you for that. Kerry's lovely. You did good, cement shoes. But yeah, it's sad, you know, and we do it at different times because of our schedules. Sometimes we're live, it's like early in Australia, so we don't expect many Aussies to be there, but we get people from, you know, around the world cruising in, but it's still that sort of 10 to 14 people watching. And it's just really, yeah, it's, so, I mean, it doesn't bother Finn and I. We'll do it even if nobody's watching, because that's what Finn and I did for a few years as friends. We just sent each other ridiculous stories and had a good old laugh about it. And then one day we're like, why don't we just go live and share this with people? Everyone's doing it, you know, not doing batshit, but everyone's sending their friends funny memes and gifs and stories and shit. So yeah, it's hard because and I mean, Finn and I both are committed and we'll continue to put in the work and do it every week, but it would be so lovely to get, you know, even in a week, 1 week, just to have 30 people watching would be exciting. It's tough because, you know, we're actually trying to do something engaging. You guys are very involved, as you know. We often feature stories you guys have sent, but you also get to pick the winner of the medal. Like, it's a really good interactive live show. But, yeah, the masses would rather go and watch someone making a fuckload of money talking about a very sad story day in, day out for 8, 9, 10 hours at a time. Maybe people don't want original content. Maybe people just want to spend 10 hours of their day baffling. And even the fact we only go for an hour, like that's, you know, that the greatest thing I learned with comedy was always leave the audience wanting more. And that's why we try to stick to that 1 hour. So everyone's having a really good time. It's like, that's the show. Awesome fun. See you next week, Groovers. That's a key to making people tune in every week, apparently. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll keep doing it. It's worth it. If the little dozen people that were watching us every week are having a good time, that's all we give a fuck about. But I would like to see growth. I haven't put this much work into anything else in my life that hasn't generated better results. Yeah, the falling, that was hilarious. Yeah, the bridge. There's been some doozies. That's the thing. Like, we find doozies from around. Last night was very funny. There were a lot. I mean, I really think last night every story pretty much could have won the medal. I was biased. I voted for the one that happened in Tassie, and that's the one that won. But anyway, look, we'll keep doing it. It's a small but enthusiastic following. It's a little cult show that happens on YouTube. But yeah, gosh, it would be lovely. I think there's a lot of people on YouTube that could do with a laugh, and we're offering many laughs. And it's just a shame that we're not landing on people's radars, and I don't know why. But I do know I have to go into the office. I've got work to do. I hope everyone has a lovely day or night, wherever you may be. Good to see everyone who popped in. Thanks for saying g'day. And have a good one. Until next time, stay groovy, everyone.